Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
J. Robert Oppenheimer is the perfect Christopher Nolan protagonist. Like all of Nolan's heroes, he was haunted.
I suppose we all thought that, one way or another.
Having read Henry James's 1903 novella The Beast in the Jungle, Oppenheimer became seized by a vague premonition that something dark and ominous lay in wait for him. To be a Nolan protagonist is to be in constant battle with the beast in the jungle. For Nolan, there is no greater threat to man than himself.
Every magic trick consists of 3 parts.
Christopher Nolan loves a good ghost story. In one of the greatest ghost stories of all time, Ebenezer Scrooge is visited by 4 apparitions. His recently deceased business partner, Jacob Marley, the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas yet to come. Intrinsic to the ghost story is the tether the otherworldly spirit has to our protagonist, and almost an earthly sense of knowledge and awareness of our hero's thoughts, feelings, and psyche.
I am the ghost of Christmas past. Long past? No, your past.
For Nolan, these ghosts represent our protagonist's forbidden desires, our heroes without restraint. Grounded in gritty metaphysical realism, they are no longer the Victorian spectre, but the 21st century vagabond.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
There are many different origin stories of the Joker, most of which contain a vat of acid. It is notable then that Nolan decided to remove any trace of his Joker's history.
Nothing. No matches on prints, DNA, dental, clothing is custom, no labels. Nothing in his pockets but knives and lint. No name. No other alias.
Even the Joker himself,
You wanna know how I got these scars?
believes in his own mythology.
Speaking of which, you know how I got these scars?
In Nolan's Gotham, the Joker is a poltergeist. With no origin, name or identity, he exists outside the realm of the living, an agent of chaos with one thing on his mind: the Dark Knight. Nolan's Batman has one sacred rule: no killing. In the Joker, we find the antithesis: Batman without laws.
You complete me.
2 sides of the same coin.
Was it good?
It was the greatest magic trick I've ever seen.
In The Prestige, the ghost manifests itself as our protagonist's forbidden desires. In Borden, we see how far Angie would go to reach the impossible, to perform the perfect trick. The revelation of Borden as not one man, but in fact twin brothers, underlines the role of the ghost within the mechanisms of the Prestige. While one twin navigates the world under the identity of Borden, the other goes unnoticed. Like the Joker, one remains in the shadows, hidden from sight. In the 3rd act, Borden's dual spectres reveal a further transformation: the Revenant.
Do you have anything to say?
With Borden blamed for the killing of Angia, he is executed for his crimes. The reveal of a twin identity not only reflects on the desperate but ultimately misguided ventures Angia took to beat Borden, but also the ghost of Borden himself. In sharing his brother's face, the presence of the twin brother is also the presence of the dead one, a revenant beyond the grave, haunting the man who wronged him. The duplicity of Borden, the nature of a double identity, was not new to Nolan. It is a common thread that he has returned to time and time again. while a ghost may spook a man, sometimes there is nothing more terrifying than a mirror. In the years following the publication of A Christmas Carol, the concept of opposition had shifted. Prominent Gothic fiction, like The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Jane Eyre, changed the landscape. When antagonism was once a foreign enemy, a decrepit castle, or a visiting ghost, it was now internal, a split mind, or psychological torment. Evil no longer lurked in hidden corners, but found home within the person. The worlds that Nolan's films navigate are inherently internal. With this, it's no surprise that Nolan's protagonists find antagonism not in an opposing villain, but within themselves, the beast in the jungle. In Inception's cerebral landscape, the mind becomes the enemy.
I know this bridge. This place is real, isn't it?
Worlds that were familiar suddenly become threatening. Deceased loved ones become antagonising projections of a protagonist in a turmoil and guilt. Inception is a film about the beast in the jungle, the ways in which man's mind ultimately becomes his own worst enemy. For our protagonist Cobb, the mind becomes both the poison and the balm, in its ability to conjure up our deceased loved ones, but also remind us of the guilt that latches on to our memory of them. In its final shot, Nolan fittingly concludes Inception. Whilst the debate of the totem's result still continues, it ultimately highlights Cobb's resolution. When Inception is built upon the destructive mind, Cobb finds peace in not knowing. When the antagonism within the film is rooted in guilt and ruminations, Cobb's denouement is founded in forgiving himself. But this wasn't the first time Nolan delved into themes of guilt and confrontation. Like Inception, Nolan's Memento finds the protagonist working against himself.
Tenet, you don't know what's going on. You don't even know my name.
Teddy.
That's because you read it off a fucking picture. You don't know who you are.
While Teddy acts as an opposing force to Leonard, a corrupt police officer using Leonard as a hitman for personal gain, it is Leonard's own syndrome that is the antagonist to his story.
I'm Leonard Shelby. I'm from San Francisco.
That's who you were. That's what you become.
In his anterograde amnesia, his inability to remember his past or previous actions, Leonard becomes the modern Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
You really want to get this guy, don't you? Killed my wife. He took away my fucking memory. He destroyed my ability to live.
You living?
Only for revenge.
Leonard remains trapped in his mind, condemned to be confined in the constant present, unable to satiate his desire for revenge. In slowly erasing and replacing his own memories and history, his mind becomes the double, presenting itself as familiar, but where the sinister lurks underneath. Paralleling Cobb's own resolution in Inception, Leonard's finality comes with the embracement of his futureless present. In both heroes, the mind presents itself as the double in order to protect its host from an unthinkable truth.
Don't touch them!
What the hell happened here?
With Tenet, Nolan finds his ultimate antagonist.
It hasn't happened yet.
In creating a structure based on time reversal symmetry, Nolan is able to evolve his double. Where Inception and Memento utilise their double in the characters' minds, Tenet infringes these boundaries, propelling its double fully fleshed and realised into the world. A common thread throughout Nolan's work is the hidden passes of the mind, the certain areas, secrets and information that its protagonist is unaware of. It's the idea that our mind has greater knowledge than its host is capable of. In Tenet, the protagonist is both. At once the newbie discovering Tenet under the guidance of Neil, and the creator of Tenet, who had once taught Neil. With this, the double is scattered across past, present and future. The protagonist unwittingly becomes his own doppelganger, participating in Tenet before he's even created it. With the protagonist fighting himself, Nolan is able to depict self-destruction using visual language. But there is one more element he uses, the most Nolan concept of them all. As we've seen before, Nolan loves to play with time, whether it's time in reverse, time playing out in different rhythms, or time being thrown out the window. It is arguable then that Nolan loves time because it can change the self. This idea is teased out in Tenet, where the first fight scene sees the protagonist defend himself against the masked assailant. The second shines a different light. What once was a masked enemy is now himself. What once were attacking manoeuvres are now defensive ones. In this, Nolan highlights the importance of time, how it can change a perspective, change a motive. In Interstellar and Insomnia, we see this idea distilled. Both characters, one way or another, play with the idea of time to varying results. In Insomnia, Dormer's grasp on natural time is thwarted under the perpetual daylight of Alaska. As the film progresses, Dormer's insomnia only becomes more severe, but in Dormer lies the potential of corruption, of self-destruction. With Nolan, Dormer's inability to fall within the natural rhythm of time reflects on his inner immorality. On the other hand, Interstellar suggests that if man were knowledgeable, if he were to exist outside the limits of time, then he would be heroic. When Cooper enters the black hole, he uses the time to send messages to his daughter into the past. Within this, Cooper is able to communicate with past selves in order to aid the future. As he remains control over time, he remains uncorrupt. In both of these protagonists, we see a clear message of Nolan's work coming through. The idea that time inevitably corrupts man. It can change a man, make him a hero, but it can also make him self-destructive, an agent of chaos, the beast in the jungle. For Nolan, time and self are intrinsically linked. It is, after all, one of his most memorable quotes.
Okay, fine. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.